Maggie Gyllenhaal, actor and director. She's got a new movie on Netflix. Let's talk about it. What is up, Netflix fans? Welcome back to my channel. Lots of movies and lists and all those things right now. We're going to get back to the lists here in a little bit, but I want to talk about the brand new film that just dropped on Netflix. This is The Lost Daughter. It's a movie that's getting a little bit of awards recognition in terms of nominations, and Olivia Colman's performance. There's a lot of talk surrounding that, so we're going to talk briefly about the film. Let's get into it. So a woman's beach vacation takes a dark turn when she begins to confront the troubles of her past. Our main character is a middle-aged divorcee devoted to her work as an English teacher and to her two children. When her daughters leave home to be with their father in Canada, Leda anticipates a period of loneliness and longing. Instead, slightly embarrassed by the sensation, she feels liberated, as if her life has become lighter and easier. And in this movie, we're kind of focusing on her taking a holiday by the sea in a small coastal town in southern Italy. And the drama that we're focusing on is she encounters this family at the beginning, and their presence is unsettling and at times threatening, and something happens with this family involving their young child, and this kind of triggers a lot of memories from her past. And what this movie is doing is it's showing us what she had to deal with as a mother, and then what she's seeing now, a very similar-ish situation with a younger mother, played by Dakota Johnson, that's bringing about these memories. But in the midst of that, she's also having to deal with this family, and there's a bit of tension and drama that's arising there. So a fascinating, different premise, not anything like I've seen all year, except I did see a movie called Parallel Mothers, and while that movie was a lot different, you take the title and you're like, oh, kind of applies here. But this film is called The Lost Daughter. Now, what does that mean? I believe this movie does a beautiful job of exploring kind of what that title is all about, and what she's feeling, talking Olivia Colman's character, is so interesting. Interesting to me, and trying to place myself in her shoes. It's a very difficult thing to do, because unless you have had to go through this, what she went through as a mother, I don't know if you're going to relate to this film as strongly. But I do think you'll be able to appreciate it in terms of filmmaking and what Maggie Gyllenhaal is able to do. Again, placing us in the situation of this character, bringing about her memories, and within those memories, we get to see a younger version of herself played by Jessie Buckley. Now, while Buckley is great in the role, it's very hard to capture that subtlety that Olivia Colman has. What she is doing as this character is incredible. And I'd heard tale of her performance going in like, she gives one of the best of the year, but it's like, Olivia Colman, duh, she's just one of the best in Hollywood. But until you see what her character is going through mentally, how that is affecting her now, and seeing everything play out before her eyes, triggering those situations, it is beautiful, but in its own way haunting and kind of emotional. And for me, as someone who plans on eventually being a dad, hello, future son. Hope you're not watching these reviews. I'm awkward. But I see the struggle of motherhood in this film, and sometimes it's not great. Sometimes it's not beautiful, and you see what she is feeling as she's just trying to live her life, but on occasion, kids are going to get in the way of that, and the struggle that she is going through here, she feels at points like she wants to rip her hair out of her head. And you see that. And that's one thing that I thought this movie did beautifully, is you don't often see that struggle on screen. You see the good that comes from parenthood, and there's a lot of good. I would say, trust me, I have a dog. That's about as far as it goes for now. But you also see the bad on occasion. But that's not the focus of this film. You see the bad for the most part in this movie, and that is something that took me aback, and I said, I didn't expect that from this movie. And it's hard to watch on occasion. And sometimes it's going to make you frustrated for her and at her. But the further we go and the more she becomes unlikable, in a sense, the more, and it sounds weird, the more you almost relate to her character if you've had to go through that. So this is me trying to put myself in those shoes, and I think the movie does a beautiful job of that. Maggie Gyllenhaal is trying to evoke a very specific emotion from this movie. I also see people watching this and saying, well, it didn't quite work. It was a bit dull, because you can approach this from that perspective. There's this building tension throughout the film that never really culminates and never comes to pass, at least in a way that will make you go, oh my God, like that made the movie worth it, that moment. We never get that moment. What the film is and does, it's just a lot of subtle scenes, all culminating slowly and coming together, not to make for this grand moment at the end, but to reach this certain point of emotion that comes from her. And again, this is all riding on her shoulders, but it's done fairly brilliantly by Maggie Gyllenhaal, because you're taking a story that is simple in almost every way, but to ride on the shoulders of the emotions that we're getting from this very different perspective of motherhood is fascinating. And that, for me, is what the film was able to do. And as someone who appreciates just really solid filmmaking, along with good cinematography, love the close-ups that we get in this movie. I think that's really important, giving us something this personal and emotional. I really appreciated this movie. I really did. Before I give you guys my score, first of all, Happy New Year's Eve and my wife's birthday. Let me know down below if you're watching this movie and if you appreciated it. The Lost Daughter uses subtlety to bring about specific emotions that not everyone will be able to relate to, but the impact is there, and the filmmaking captures the proper balance. I really respect this film. I'm going to 78%. Great debut for Maggie Gyllenhaal. Again, I like her as an actor, but this movie proves to me that she can do it as a director. So thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned. Lots of things dropped on Netflix this weekend, so guess what? We're going to talk about it. I'll see you soon.